Hello friends, welcome to Kavita's classroom. I hope you're keeping your momentum of studies higher and consistent. So let's continue with the topic in hand, and we were talking about costs, right? Do not forget to like, share and subscribe, and let's proceed. So when we talk about cost for a producer, we must understand there is a term called short run and long run, and we never can express it in terms of months or years, right? It's not this duration may be different for different people. For one establishment, 5 years can be the long run, but for one particular establishment, 5 years is still not enough time to adjust for the fixed and variable factors, right? For some establishments, just 3 months would be good enough to be called as long run, but 3 months usually are taken to be short run for others, right? So let's understand for now what all comes under short run, right? Short run, how do we define short run? For production, we need to have fixed as well as variable factors, and short run has got some components of fixed and variable nature. But when it comes to long run, all the factors can be changed as per your requirement, so nothing remains fixed. That's the basic criteria. Hence we say that long run means where all the factors are variable in nature. It means even if required, we do enhance the scale and go for better and higher and added land and building, plant and machinery, etc. Right. So let's proceed further. When we talk about short run costs, primarily we have a focus on fixed and variable cost, and these two together make total cost. So what are fixed costs? The simplest format, the simplest component of this chapter. Fixed cost means which do not vary with the level of production, which remain the same. Whether you are producing to n numbers or you are not producing at all. So this is the same irrespective of the level of production, right? For example, if you talk about the expenditure on plant and machinery, land and building, license fee, wages of the permanent staff, right? I'm saying permanent means if there is some holiday, still they would be paid. Okay, so if we talk about the schedule and curve of the same, so total fixed cost remains the same irrespective of any level of output. Do keep a note of it that here we are taking zero as well. Even if it is zero production, means production hasn't yet started, but we have to make sure that we have taken care of the plant and machinery, land and building, etc. Right. So this is the same all throughout, and that's why when we talk about this and its expression graphically, it is a line parallel to x-axis. It can be extended to any level. So this is parallel to x-axis. It doesn't take care of, okay, is it 0 level of production or 6 level of production? It remains the same, right? So when we talk about fixed cost and fixed factors of production, what do they say? That fixed cost refers to the expenditure incurred by the producers on the fixed factors of production like plant and machinery. But the application of these factors can't be changed during the short period, right? Therefore, fixed costs are constant for the short run. Since fixed factors are purchased before production actually starts, fixed costs are incurred even when output is zero. This has already been explained. Now the variable costs. Variable, as the name suggests, these vary in nature. Vary means there is a change because of the level of activity. If you're making more, the cost would be higher. If we are making less, the cost would be lower. And if we are not producing at all, the cost would be zero. So the best example is the raw material. If we are creating something, then only we need raw material, else we would not buy the raw material till we begin with the production process. The wages of casual workers, right? Wear and tear expenses, electricity. And if we talk about schedule, see, schedule is differently made here. At zero level, we do not have anything. It is zero only. But as we begin with it, it starts coming up and up and up. But the point is, we have to keep a note of it. What is the trend? How is it moving? It's from 10 to it's becoming 18, then 24, then 28. It means, yeah, it is actually governed by law of variable proportions. Law of variable proportions, remember, are you able to recall it? That total production was initially very fast, then bit slow, and then it started getting the saturation. It began coming down, right? You must understand that when we talk about costs and when we talk about production, these are two mirror images. If our production is fast and smooth, the costs would be lower and lower. But if our production is hampered, like in this stage, that production is coming down, it means here if we start making the cost curves, the costs would be going higher. So we would be trying to relate the production and the cost anytime I'm able to in the successive stages, right? So here for now you must understand that there is a trend which is to be followed, and that trend is governed by law of variable proportions, right? Initially the productivity of the labor is good because the productivity here is fast. If production process productivity is fast, it means the costs tend to go down, right? But here when we talk about total, because it's total, the previous value is there and we have to add the new value, so it behaves this way, and we call this as TVC as the inverse S shape. Till this point the productivity is good, so these are increasing slowly. But after this point, the productivity is reduced, hence, as the production starts falling, right? So the costs and the total cost begins to just move fast ahead. Right. This would be made more clear when we talk about the rest parts along with it. So TVC looks like this. It begins from zero. It means at zero production, there is no cost involved. But initially, because the productivity of labor is good, so it's beginning at a slower pace, right? But later on, it's just trying to increase. So this pace is bigger, very much clearly given there. The TVC increases at a decreasing rate initially and followed by increasing rate later. And why so it happens? It happens because of law of variable proportions, right? And when we talk about the difference, very clearly, whatever we have talked about so far, you can jot it down in the T table that incurred on the fixed factors, incurred on variable factors doesn't change with output, it changes with output, right? It remains the same constant irrespective of the zero production, but this is zero at zero level of production, and fixed costs are incurred even before the production activity starts. But this happens only when the production starts, right? So when we talk about the total cost now that we know that the fixed and variable would make total. So how do they look? In the table, we can just add these two columns, 10 to be added to each level to get TC, right? But how does it look on the curve? This is fixed cost, which is going parallel to x-axis. This is variable cost, which is inverse S shape, which says that initially the costs are rising at a slower pace. Later on, they rise at a faster pace, right? So how to get TC? Because TC is, the difference between TVC and TC is nothing but TFC. TFC plus TVC will make TC. So when I add TC, this TFC, this constant value over and above this TVC, that is 10 units at this level, at this level, at this level. So at each level of TVC, when I am adding 10 units, I get to have a curve which is going exactly at the same shape, right, as TVC is going. So TC is equal to TVC plus TFC, and TC and TVC have the same shape and a constant difference, and the constant difference is because of TFC. They would never be meeting. Right. So after this, we are beginning with the average costs, and we'll talk about this in the next video. So far, if you have any problem, you're welcome to ask anytime. God bless. Good luck. Bye-bye.